Do you say an or a in front of those letters when you're speaking of them? That's an L and that's an S, even though they're consonants.
Hi, my name's Woody, I'm a linguist, and the answer is you're both right, kind of. So the question is, this letter L, the name of the letter is pronounced with a vowel sound at the beginning, L. So you say an L because it's pronounced with a vowel sound first, or a L because the letter itself is a consonant. So there's kind of three things I'm going to explain here. First, we go on pronunciation, not spelling. Get the spelling out of your head, it doesn't matter. So even though this is itself a consonant, when we're pronouncing it, yes, it starts with a vowel sound, L. Second thing, why do we say a versus an? The an serves to break up repeated vowel sounds. They both actually come from the word one, so the original is actually an, and a is the version that's different when it's followed by a consonant sound. And you can basically think of them as actually the same word, just with different forms depending on the phonetic environment. This also happens with the versus the. In case you haven't noticed, we tend to say the before a consonant sound, but the before a vowel sound. So it'd be like the L versus the L. By saying the, it forces us to have a ya or a glottal stop in between those two vowel sounds, the L, the L. The same thing happens with a and an. The n serves to separate two vowels, so in that case, you're right. But like I mentioned with the, n isn't the only way to separate two vowel sounds. You can do it with a ya, with a glottal stop, and in that way, your friend can still be right if they're still separating those two vowel sounds, which they're probably doing with a glottal stop, a L. They're not pronouncing it as a L, it's a L. I've even noticed I'm starting to do that more often myself. For example, American. Actually, that one sounds a little weird, but I might say extra or something like that. So you can both be right. The only thing that really needs to happen is that phonetically you're separating those two vowel sounds. And that separation can come with an or it can come with other sounds. This happens in a lot of languages. For example, Spanish agua is feminine, but you wouldn't say la agua because you'd have those two repeated vowels. So they switch the determiner to el agua, even though it's still feminine, el agua fria. So it's quite a common thing that happens, and many languages come up with many different ways to separate those vowel sounds. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment and tag me in any other videos like this that you'd like to see me explain.